Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't African, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his way to America by ship. Have you heard this new? Wait. First of all, let me reintroduce somebody back to you guys that's been away for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lisa Cypress.
Hey, Kayuka. Hey, Wangapo, everybody. Good
So,
to be
the,
back.
so just waiting for her to come back, and we're glad to have her back. But before we get started, I want to ask Lisa something. Did you hear this? Did you hear in 2027, Carnival is offering ship rides to Africa? Have you heard that?
Yeah, I did.
So I have a bet with somebody that'll never happen. It won't happen. It's kind of like the propaganda what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. I
But
mean, you don't think it will happen? I think it will.
it won't happen.
Oh, they'll do it, and people will go because people are stupid.
Listen, it's not gonna. It won't happen. And
And
like since everybody's been telling me, ask your buddy AI. They'll tell you.
right.
So it's the propaganda, and
Yeah.
that's all we're getting. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to get it because if
Right.
not, you're gonna pass this stuff on to the kids.
Oh,
And eventually,
it's
go ahead.
already the kids are already horribly affected because they got this information in their hands, in their phones. So I mean, yesterday I'm making copies, to send to the court. Now I'm at FedEx, and there's a barrage, a large number of teenagers, not college students, mind you, because I'm near the university. Nah, these were children running with protest signs. A lot of us and a lot of pale skins, but identified ICE recipients that are targeted, not that wasn't apparent. Okay. And so yeah, these people are already these children are already being targeted with this information. Their teachers, the schools, the media are making these kids fear. My dad going granddaughter is terrified of the storm. Like, I mean, the propaganda, the MK Ultra is out of control, and we got to get a hold on that because, like I said, the Negroes are scary acting. They need to stop it. Stop being scared. Stop believing this stuff. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you.
You think it's gonna go down?
What's going to go down? Anything they talking about?
No, 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 no. I mean, when you see it. So, do you know how much
Mm.
coin I'm collecting now from people who was arguing with me about this AI? Oh, you can get anything from AI. So they started to loosen their grip when AI was starting to say that for entertainment purposes only.
Mm.
You have to think, and most people don't think. They think somebody is going to do it for them, or the TV is going to
Have
take
to think.
this. Huh?
AI will lie. Right. AI will lie to you in a heartbeat. Lie. Just lie. And knowledgeably lie. Not just like I'm filled with misinformation. It lies to you on purpose. Like if you don't know better and you sit up there just going solo, dolo, believing in AI, you're in for a hurting. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Uh,
with what,
Iman.
with what's going on now, with all the propaganda that's being fed to us right now, What do you think? Are the masses getting it, or are you going to see a rapid decline in the thought
Oh my
pattern
God.
of indigenous people?
Or is it just me? I ain't never heard this. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh.
Can you hear?
Feels like you're skipping. I don't know if it's just skipping for me, but y'all, you're not stuff to me. So
I can hear you fine.
skipping and you can hear me fine. Okay. Well, that's
Yes.
weird. Okay. Let me tell you, propaganda is strong. And what we have to understand is media, like every effort for voting, is all did it us because we are the unknown that our planet depends on. Entire planet depends on our and their ability, our territory. Understand how pivotal important we are. Understand why all aggression, all media attention on misinformation
Now you're
and to
skipping.
toward us. Yeah, you're skipping too. For me, you and come back in. That's what I'm gonna do. Leave. Let me see if I can. Yeah, my shit is real.
You said what is rigged? So
My
so so
laptop's acting crazy.
so let me read what
Every,
YouTube sent me. Hi, Indigenous One. We wanted to let you know our team reviewed your content and we think it violates our violent or graphic content policy. But ICE going around dogging everybody out. You're a big corporation with all this blaha, and you make no statement against them. This is what gets me about these corporations. You do it and you're kicked out. But the ones that's on your side, who you support, you don't say a damn thing to them. What goes around comes around, YouTube. Remember that. Okay, Lisa, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, she just jumped out. I know she's going to try to jump back in. But basically, what the question is this everything we're seeing about this ICE, is it propaganda? Is it propaganda to confuse mainly us? Because it seems like the so-called Black community, the so-called African American community, they get off on being confused, on not knowing nothing. So it's this propaganda, and all you have to do is look at what they're showing you. If you look at it, if you see what they're showing you, you got to get it, y'all. All these images of these people that they're showing, you don't get that is AI. Most people don't. Most people don't, as they say, don't care. Is it propaganda? Hell yeah. So when Lisa gets back, she's going to go back a little bit further, but I'm just going to stay on to today's events. So remember when that chick supposedly got shot in Minnesota? So, I didn't see it on TV or nothing. I just had a friend send me a shot of it. My question is simply, my question is, what was that car behind her car and that man standing outside before she drove off? Nobody's questioned that. A few people have, but what was
right.
that?
Why? What was that?
What was
What did
that?
that look? What did that look like to you? I would like to
It
know.
looked, it looked like he was there a plant to try to get her to stop, or she came to a stop. He was blocking her from getting out of the way. It could have been a whole bunch of things, but it shit looked suspicious.
Well, I don't believe, for me, my thinking is I don't believe any of it. First of all, I don't believe the Karen and that, first of all, we all know. Like, I mean, anybody who watches any kind of police video or real police TV knows that if you watch white folks getting arrested, white folks will be running for miles, white folks will be drunk as hell, white folks will be hitting and fighting, and they will not get shot. We've seen it, right?
Check.
How many times have you seen police video and you're like, Mo, wow, they are doing everything and they're
Right.
not getting shot. Like, So it is such a stretch. It is not as a stretch. It is impossible, really, to believe that ICE agents who you might be think that they are prejudiced, right? Because of what they chose to do. However, so let's go ahead and stretch our imaginations to believe that they might be, somewhat prejudiced, right? Against people of color, or whatever you want to call foreign people or whatever it is. They may be biased. Okay? So, you think that these supremacist type people are going to choose to look to daggone unload their weapons on a white person when every day police all across this country stop individuals and it is very apparent that the way they treat us versus the way they treat everyone else is extremely polar opposite. And the fact that we see countless videos, we can find countless videos of them dealing with white individuals who commit all kinds of atrocities in their face and to them, spit on them, cuss them, fight with them, roll around in the damn street with them, drive away, steal a car, bump into the car, do all kinds of crazy stuff, and do not get shot. I was in court in North Carolina and a dude ran into a damn train. He's not shot. So, I mean, they do all kinds of things and there is not aggression and they don't take extreme measures against their own kind or even our own people. Our own people are going to be kinder and gentler to a pale face than they are to us. So, how are we supposed to believe that a pale faced woman and a pale faced nurse who was Italian and all these different things that trigger all these trigger things, a white woman, a white man, young man with all this life before him who's a nurse for the ICU and he's Italian. We're supposed to believe all this, that this is who they choose to kill. We haven't even heard one story of them killing a Mexican for sure, right? There's been no media attention and I in my lifetime of them killing a Mexican. So how do we believe this? Well, how does this make sense to us? That now it's in the news for this stuff. And this is happening. Why? Like, I don't know. Tell me how it works. I don't get it.
Yeah, it works for the unthinking people,
Mm-hmm.
the average person that watches TV. And I'm not saying this is everybody because it's never like that. But the majority, whatever that TV says, they
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Right.
They believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about 90%. You
And it's really it's sad too, right?
It's ridiculous that people, I'm talking about grown people, 50, 60, 70 years old, if that TV tells you to fart, that's where we at.
Well, I
No
mean, it's
thinking, no thinking for yourself ever, no looking at it and figuring stuff out for yourself. If the TV say it, that's the way it is.
and also we got to look at the response. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Does it make sense by the response? Because 9/11, right? We looked at it. We saw the building just kind of implode on itself, right? We didn't see what we didn't see was what would happen if a real actual plane hit the building.
Right.
We just saw the building implode. Really, that's what we saw. And they told us that's what happened, right? That's what they told us.
Now, I'm sure you've been on a plane constant, constant times, right?
Let's just think, let's not even go with a plane, right? Let's just think of when a building is hit by a vehicle, maybe even a bus, right? Because all a plane is an Airbus, right? That's what they call them, right?
That's
Like
what they
even
call them.
even Southwest and daggone, what's the other one? The other cheap one with an S, I forget. But they're called
Spirit.
Airbuses. Spirit is an Airbus. That's what they call it, right?
Yes.
So a plane hits a building, that shit ain't gonna go and collapse. Two towers ain't gonna collapse on itself, is it?
Nope.
If it hits it at the base, it ain't gonna collapse on itself, is it?
Nope.
So how is it that we believe because it's a plane hitting it from the top, the whole building's gonna collapse on itself? Let's just think about it for a minute. Just think. Now
And
this man I was in court with, his car, whatever it was, his vehicle ran into a whole train. Did the train fall apart? Is he dead? No. He got scratches and he been in the hospital and he got, scars, but he ain't dead. So what makes us believe that if a plane, which is just a vehicle, right? It was a bombing plane. It didn't carry a bomb, or at least it shouldn't have, right? Hmm. Okay. So if it's a regular plane, it's just like another vehicle. It's just like a bus. It doesn't actually physically make sense. And we got people that are engineers that believe that shit. We got people that are scientists and teachers that, you know why? Because the whole planet has gotten dumber. Literally just as ignorant as hell. Nobody thinks no more.
what do they call it when you try to change everybody's mind at once? It's kind of like your grandfather or your great grandfather. If they could see how the world is now, they wouldn't believe it. And they say it happens every so often.
Yeah, they did a. Y'all have a video of that on African Americans Ain't Africans. They posted a video called Reset,
Yeah,
and
the reset.
Reset. Uh huh.
Do
Yeah.
you think this is one of those times?
Let me tell you, I think we're in a state of constant reset. 9/11 was a reset. That was like a major one, right? Wasn't that whole sniper thing a reset too? Because that was, they were
Yes,
all back to back, right?
right,
But guess what? The school shootings was a reset because it made everybody think that we had to have police in the school so they could put our babies in jail easier, right?
right,
Get them used to being locked up, tie them up with damn plastic ties, and actually they're going to start a damn record for our kids early. They did that. That's why they did that, because because the Negro said, "Oh Lord, we need police. We need to scan these children's bags so we can." That's what it was. It was created for that. That was also government. See, the government. Let me tell you something. This place is not wicked, but these entities that are in our countries are friggin' wicked. They're demonic. And what they do, we don't have the capacity to believe they're capable of. Why? Because it's not a thought that would occur to us that they would be this way, but they are this way. And the quicker we start learning that, the better we'll be off. You got to start knowing that they are diabolical and they are capable of the most debased, outrageous, immoral, unethical things you can imagine. And don't believe nothing. If you want to pass on something to the generation, pass on that. Because let me tell you, our babies are being taught to believe everything. That's what's being done in these schools. My grandson was like, I was saying, they were watching a video, and there was this stupid children, these little pale faced children dancing poorly and doing some stupid dance, and they started doing it. I said, I said, why are y'all watching non these people incapable of dancing who have no rhythm? Why are you copying them? They're just teaching you to unlearn to daggone dance yourself. My grandson got upset with me. Geely, it's just a dance. They're not doing it wrong. They're not unable to. I said, yeah, they are. They cannot dance. They cannot dance. But see, our kids are being taught you can't judge nothing, right?
Right.
They're being taught, oh, everybody's okay. Geely, what's wrong with you? You're not supposed to criticize. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what their minds are being set like that. And let me tell you, y'all thought religion was bad and messed us up. Having a mindset where you actually naturally are inclined to to divorce yourself from criticism or analyzing anything, that's the most dangerous thing. That's more dangerous than religion was for us, because you can break free from religion, but when your mind is set not to dare go and question anything from the time you're a child, and it ain't based on religion, it's based on learning. Y'all better check yourselves and your families, because they got to get out. I'm like, I'm got to work on this child. What the world? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's problematic when you actually have to have the feeling that that people are not worth critiquing. That these children spend more time with these videos and these algorithms. That's a whole nother subject. I'm sorry, but anyway, I mean, I guess it's not MK Ultra. I'm just telling you that this stuff is seeping into our the minds of our children, and we gotta block it. Like my sister, what was my daughter? No, my daughter was saying we gotta go into their phones and change their algorithms, change all the videos that's coming their way. Block some shit, but also feed better daggone video choices into them by selecting better things for them, because they're being misguided into some weird shit. Some white supremacists, like white is great, Korean is great, the Korean demon killers. What the fuck? Getting Academy Awards. The kids love every song they sang. They dance into their music. What the fuck? Michael Jackson imitators, and that's what and cartoon K-pop form. That's all they are. And the fact that we sit up there and we condone it, shame on us. Shame on us. Because the other thing about the Indians is the Indians, these African Americans that should be Indians, love everything. Everything's okay.
So, Habiba just said something
Mm,
that hits home to me because
uh-huh.
it's something I asked my mother while she was on her deathbed. My whole life, my mother was into the Christian stuff. That's how she got me to learn to read, is through the Bible.
Mhm.
But as I was reading it,
Oh, I
I
didn't know that part. Oh,
yeah,
I think that was. I think you did tell me that. I'm sorry.
when she as she was teaching me to read, I'm a kid, I don't know nothing, but she's telling me stuff that don't make sense. So I'm asking her questions about what the Bible says. And She could never answer. So she's on her deathbed, and we're having conversations and stuff. And we never really hit it off on the church thing. So as she was dying, I'm like, "Well, you ready to go see Jesus?" And she just shook her head, no. And I'm like, "What you mean, no?" She just shook her head.
Mm,
And I said, "Why did you go to your whole life perpetrating that stuff?
right.
Your whole life." I mean, she wasn't like this in the church, but basically she was like, oh, falling on the floor and all that stuff. And you know what she told me?
What she
And
tell
what
you?
Habiba just said.
What's,
I just got in it to fit in.
mm, mm.
But and I have to remember, she was born in 1945, where she was from, women were less than toilet paper. So, but I understood it. But I'm like, you got to do the right thing, you know. But I got it. I just wanted to fit in. And that's what most people do. And that's why most people get into the stuff. And like you were talking about your kids, your grandkids, they just trying to fit in. What everybody else say. Is it cool? You remember when you were in school, if a new jacket came out or a new pair of shoes, you wanted to get some, mama, give me some. Because you just wanted to be cool. You just wanted to fit in. But I think when it becomes deadly, it becomes a problem. Because a lot, damn near everything that we do, we try to do to get in, to fit in. And it's run. If you hear these young people talk today, and I know you've done it, you've been on TikTok and whatever, you hear these people talk, you have to fear for your grandchildren. Because none of these cats think at all. They just do what that TV say, what that radio say, and they think it's cool. Right? And I'd be called all kind of assholes. Man, that's exactly how it is. And then I wonder why the people have to lie about it. Because then you're teaching your children to lie, just like you were taught to lie. Nothing makes sense. Just like the when I was talking about the woman in Minnesota who got shot. Who was that guy behind her car? To me, it looked like he was blocking her in. I don't know about many of you, but that's what it was. It's propaganda. All this stuff is to confuse you.
But the
Uh,
other thing, did that even occur? Because it doesn't really make sense. What was happening that was so escalated that it required a gun to be pointed? Was there did she have a weapon? Did she was the was she making threats, terroristic threats? What was going on? It didn't make none of it makes sense.
right. And so that should
And
be
and
that's
a white person, a white woman's never gonna get killed. It has to be an extreme situation. It doesn't make no sense. For a Negro, yeah. It don't have to be extreme. That's why we believe the Floyd situation, right? We believed it because we're ultra sensitive to the fact that it really does happen, right?
right.
But we're so sensitive to the fact that it really does happen. Combine that with the fact we've been locked in with COVID, we've been isolated, our rights have been taken care of, and we're scared we're gonna die. So then that's when they unleashed the Floyd thing. And so everybody was feeling some kind of way, highly emotional, highly stressed, right? Highly scared. And then they unleashed the Floyd thing, and everybody looked at it, even though everything in that video did not make sense that he would die. First of all, it's not going to make sense that a man with his face to the side, with your whole other carotid open for flowing to your brain all through your body, that you would be able to kill him by having a knee on one side of that man's neck. That is not physically possible. And even doctors and healthcare professionals acted like that was real. And the way he was looking wasn't like, let me tell you something. If he was really trying to kill him, his face would be like, "Ugh." I mean, he wasn't even a good actor because you would be gritting and you would be sweating. You know what I mean? That was a
Right.
big man. In order for you to put a knee on his neck and kill him, you would have to be like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? You'd
Right.
have to be gritting, spitting, sweating. You know what I mean? He
Right.
was huge. He was much bigger than the daggone cop. But what we are so daggone brainwashed that we believe a huge animal of a man could be subdued by a tinier man with just his knee. That's not exact force. What kind of freaking fighting, knee fighting do we have? We don't box with our knees. We don't even do martial arts with our knees. You know what I mean? Our knees are not a weapon. They are inexact. You can't really control them. You can't place them well. You know what I mean? You
Knee,
the best thing you could do with a knee is knee him in, somebody in the balls. That's the best thing. Okay,
and that hurts.
that hurts, but it ain't gonna kill you.
You you you'll be incapacitated.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't
Yeah.
understand why people don't think. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
Because we
propaganda,
don't
y'all.
think. We just let our emotions control what we see. As
Propaganda.
as as the indigenous people, as the African Americans, our emotions control what we see. We don't really see. We see with our through our emotions, not really literally critically looking at things.
Propaganda, y'all. And now combined with this AI. I mean, the I done gotten so good at it when it first comes on, you can tell. People believe it. Somebody sent me a meme today of Smokey Robinson playing his guitar at Stevie Wonder's bedside, talking about Stevie Wonder has just died. And so the girl who sent the meme, I asked her. And now in this AI picture, Stevie Wonder had his hair down to his back. So, so I asked the young lady who sent it, I'm like, you do realize Stevie Wonder is bald now, right? She didn't say anything back. But I'm saying this propaganda, y'all. Think before they show you anything. Look at the whole picture. The hands may be off. The forearm may be out of place. Look at that stuff because they're really trying to mess up the minds, especially of the youth, for what they got coming up for them next. Because if these youth are following this pattern, what's being given to them now, what do you think is going to be like in 20 or 30 years?
Enough people have to stand up and say bullshit. Enough people have to call up and say bullshit. It don't have to be everybody, but it has to be enough bodies to say bullshit. And you got to be real about it. It's bullshit. Let me tell you something. These children are running out in the streets over what? A woman that got shot by ICE and they think Trump is doing all the things he's doing. Trump ain't fucking shit. A president don't got no power. Trump ain't got no power. That's not real.
No power.
These people, things that happen are pre-planned, preset. Didn't we talk about the fact that that whole Asian hate crime that was already pre-planned? If y'all don't understand that, y'all don't understand nothing. Because when they set out COVID, they already knew they were gonna blame China for it. It happened in Honan, whatever, Wuhan, China, right? Wuhan, China, right?
Wuhan, China.
Wuhan, China, and the first place it popped up was Macon, Georgia. How the you double hockey sticks did it get from Wuhan to Macon? Macon ain't by no major airport, no international airport. So how did it end up in Macon, Georgia? A bunch of Negroes after a funeral because Big Mom took the damn shot, and it didn't come from Wuhan, China. Maybe the damn shot that gave out the disease came from Wuhan, China, but it wasn't from nobody from Wuhan, China, right? Giving it to the family. So see, these people lived in a nursing home. So Big Mama in the nursing home, how she get, or Big Mama wherever she is. See, everybody has gotten their old people used to taking shots every year. Now, doctor says I got to get my shot. It's time for it, right? I know my doctor. He takes good care of me. I'm still alive, right? You're still alive because you're made of what you're made of. And despite what all the shit that they're giving you that you shouldn't be getting, right? But we don't think that way. We believe our doctor keeps us alive. And you go ahead and get that shot, and the next thing you know, Big Mom's sick. But nobody thinks about Big Mama being sick because we love Big Mama. We gonna still hug and kiss on her. And then everybody in the family ends up with this COVID, and several of them died, and that was the first cases in this country. But nobody thinks nothing of it. But they had already made an agreement with China and the Asians because they felt, well, you're gonna give this out to us. You're gonna make blame China. The Asians are gonna be treated with hate. Oh, we got you on that. We're gonna compensate you, right? That compensation was worked out in advance, decades in advance, at least a decade, several probably. But it was worked out. That's why when it happened, everybody was like, this is incongruent. We don't be hating on Asians. We love Chinese food and Korean food, and we don't have no beef with no Asians. They started putting out, what did the media do? Start putting out random videos of old Asian people or Asian people being hit by Negroes. Where did this come from? This is not congruent with our real life. Everybody was confused. Yeah, you can have schizophrenics that beat up anybody. They could beat up an Asian. They could beat me up. They would. They don't know. They're out of their minds. There's always crazy people that are hitting people. That happens every day. But they selected these videos to, you know, culture and to, create the effect that, yeah, these African Americans hate Asians. Therefore, we need to protect them. And we're going to give them money. That's what we're going to do. Give them money? How's that protecting them? Okay. So we see in our own eyes, Asians get reparations in our country. They can just go back home. If they don't want to get hit by Negroes, they could go back, right? They don't have to be in America. If they don't like how the indigenous people are treating them, they could leave. But instead, the United States government gave them reparations and a hate crime. And we sat there quietly with our fingers in our lap, twiddling our thumbs. And we thought nothing of it, like it wasn't strange and shit. I need y'all to understand that you got to think differently. Look at things differently. Lord.
Look at things of how they are, because this is what'll happen. And I'm going to give you an example that's going to back up my point. As we're growing, the brain doesn't reach its full capacity till you're 25, 30. You have to use it. You have to exercise it. Or by the time you get to 40, you never will. Here's an example. And I always use this example because it's true. You remember Martin Luther King and Malcolm X? A whole lot of propaganda is played there too. But I just want you to think about something real quick and you'll be like, God damn, you're right. See, those guys were in these big Mason organizations, big old clubs, and they teach the people some truths, but they don't teach them everything because I'm sure those cats were low level. But what's fascinating about those two guys is they both died before they hit 40. Why? And you never hear us talking about it. You never hear us say nothing about it. When you hit 40 and you haven't thought your whole life, chances are you'll be that way the rest of your life. You just won't do it. No, you know people who are like that now. Never think about nothing, about sending their children to war, anything. They think it's cool until their son comes home in a body bag or daughter. If you don't use your mind, you lose it. And those guys are perfect examples. It's like Martin Luther King said before he died, I might not make it with you. He knew. He knew. It's like Malcolm X said, I'm a dead man walking already. He knew. He knew. They just couldn't go on lying to the people. Didn't Martin Luther King say he led you into a burning house? They couldn't keep lying to you. So, and you got a lot of people talking about Martin Luther King and blah, blah, blah. But I will say this about him. He took a bullet when many Christians scared to die. You see, this is the game instead of we following other people's rules of life and we don't know our own. We don't know the spiritual practices of the indigenous people in America. You don't even care. Don't know nothing. Everybody Christian, Muslims, all this other bullshit. What's the spiritual practices of your people? I don't know. You have to know these things. You gotta so your kids can know them. And the only person's fault for your kids not knowing is you. Because you want to teach them about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all this other bullshit. Remember, what goes around comes around. You should be studying the cycles that you see every day. The cycles you see every day. And make sure your children are familiar with them. So this is what I'm saying. Check out this propaganda that's going on because all it is propaganda. None of the shit makes no sense. It's dumb. All they got you on the world. Look how many more football teams have came out now. Basketball games, women boxing, all that Rome stuff to keep you entertained. And guess who keep the cables company going?
Mm.
That's
Keep,
that. Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
keeping you distracted. That's
Keeping
what it
you
all. It's
distracted.
all the, and it's you. It's not like all these other people are They are non-factors. All other pale skins are non-factors to pale skins. They keep things. They do things to provide things for them. But it's also got to be twofold. When they providing this stuff with them, they're trying to put them on as the winners, as the stars. Even with Stranger Things, whatever you watching, they got the superpowers, right? The little Negro didn't have no powers, right? The
Right.
white tees got the superpowers. The little Negro don't got none, right? So I mean, even when they create whatever entertainment they have, it's to edify them and it's to belittle you. It's to misdirect you. Everything is done that. We used to think Spike Lee sat down and took a jab for the camera. What the hell kind of fucking activist filmmaker. He ain't no activist filmmaker. He's a damn plant. Everybody is. You gotta see who they are by how they act when they doing these daggone ritualistic shit for us. We all know that fucking what's his name when he daggone got that fake slap. Y'all didn't know that slap was fake. Did anybody believe that slap was real? Anybody see? That's why I probably need to talk to people. I say, do you believe, what is that man's name? Fresh Prince, whatever the hell. What's his name? What's his
Uh,
name?
Fresh Prince.
Oh, what's his real name? I forget. Anyway, y'all gonna say it in the chat. Let it tell us in the chat. But anyway, y'all know that if y'all did y'all really believe that slap was real? Is
Will
anybody believe?
Will
Will
Smith.
Smith, did it look real to you?
No.
I mean, I don't know who. I don't understand how people even thought that slap was real. It was even okay. We watch movies all the time. We've seen better slaps than that in the movies. I mean, really, it was like slow motion, the weirdest shit, and he walked up there all crazy, all like inappropriate, because he was laughing about it. It was incongruent. Like I said, the energy with Floyd, George Floyd, that was incongruent because the officer never displayed aggression on his face, like he was disturbed, like he was feeling, aggressive. Even while he had the knee on his neck, it didn't match the action. You know what I mean? When you're angry, your posture, your face, your frown line, everything's gonna be congruent. It's gonna match what you're doing, right?
Right.
You're trying to murder this big beast. You think he's trash. It's gonna be present in your shoulders and your posture and your face and your mouth and your nose. Everything gonna look like you are just aggressively mad, right? It didn't, that's not how it looks. It looked like he just chilling with a knee on the neck. It's weird. Nothing matched. And the energy before it, there was no lead up. And then if you can't breathe, you can't talk. That's the other thing. So Floyd can't be calling for his mama and can't and say I can't breathe. No, nigga. When you can't breathe, you can't talk. What the fuck is that?
You see, that's what I mean. The little stuff like that, we don't get it because we're so used to being told on how life is.
If the white folks put it before you, you worship it like it's the damn truth from God. You have made these demons your God. That's what we have done as a people. And it's devastating to me. And then when you talk to people about it, if you call them on it, they get mad at you. When you say to people, well, why you act like you worship these white folks? What is that about? Why you they get mad at you? Why you think they so great? Why you like everything they do? I don't want to hear about it.
You
They
know
get
why
mad
they
at
get
you.
mad?
Why
You
do
know
they
why?
get mad?
Because you calling them out. You caught them, and they don't want nobody to know. That's what most Negroes. You get mad. Ask them a question. Ask them, especially ask them a question about that Bible.
Why are we buying Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton ain't you. Why are we spending money on things when these people don't spend shit in our community for us? Why are we doing that? Why don't we understand the power? We sit there. I know we know the power of our economic dollar. Do you make an effort to look for black businesses and give your money to them?
Nope.
Do you? You gotta have a boycott for you to stop buying at Walmart and Target?
Whatever happened to that?
Nothing.
Come on, man. We on the 7th of November. Come on, guys. I know. Come on. I know you went with it.
I was in jail. So I was not participating, okay? But I'm just saying. I mean, we don't make an effort to look for us, and us exists. You know what I mean? I mean, especially if you got real buying power. If you, there's a lot of us that got a lot of dough, okay? A lot of dough, but we get this. We want to get the same. What is it? Designers as the white folks. We want to go to have our kids go to the same schools. You see, before this whole integration effort, Our great kids, our great kids that have everything went to the same schools as our other have not cousins and kinfolk. But it gave children and families something to look to aspire to, because we were in the same community. Now you go live off somewhere in the hills somewhere with a bunch of weird rednecks, and you good with that. And then if you don't like the weird rednecks, you send them to a private school and you ship them out there. You spend your half your day carting them back and forth to somewhere else. That's how we're living, y'all. That is not smart. Meanwhile, what are they doing? Backtracking into your neighborhoods and fixing it up. It's called gentrification. You don't see the value in what you have because you tracing somebody else like they got the dream. That's worship. That's worship. When are we going to start doing better? When are we going to start loving ourselves again? Loving each other, giving value, seeing the value of ourselves. We don't see it. What you got to say?
You know what? And and I don't know how this is being missed. You know, one of the things I notice that most Negroes do is that they go by how something look, including themselves. Oh, he ain't one of us just because I'm not the same hue as Martin Luther King, or I don't wear my hair like Bob Marley. He ain't one of us. But you got to remember what you're missing out on all of that. It just ain't skin colors, skin color. It's not what you look like. It's what you are. It's what you are. You don't think all blackbirds are good, do you? You don't think all black dogs don't bite, do you? You don't think all black rabbits wouldn't eat your carrots, would you? It's what you are. It's what's in your spirit. It's what's in your soul. It's who you are. Are you inspiring to be a better person? If not, you're a loser. Are you inspiring to be a better dad or a better mom? If you're not, you're a loser. Just because you black, like you say, that don't mean nothing. Aren't- So what you're saying is there are no black demons, or all white people are demons. Are you saying that? Don't lie if you're saying it. You're saying that Negroes don't lie? Yeah, damn near every time they open their mouth. Not all, of course, but you know what I'm saying. So this we stuff, we with this. What were your people in the military fighting for the United States Corporation? What do you mean we? Were your people helping getting these churches started? What do you mean we, nigga? So that's another thing about the propaganda. It's not what you look like. Don't you have cats in the boule? Don't you have Negroes pretending like they're Greek? They'll turn their backs on their own mamas and daddy to be Greek just to fit in, won't they? And you'll lie and say, we don't do that. Yeah, you do.
How many people know stories about Greeks gang raping they sisters and they sister sorority sisters, sister daggone them sisters be daggone run through. They may not do it all like that, but you all got to be willing, right?
So
And they always find somebody to victimize. I'm telling you, you can go ahead and look through the archives of the secret talk, and you'll find there's been sisters that have had their lives destroyed because they went out and pledged and they became that victim that everybody don't want to talk about, and especially when going back in time, because they was more ratchet back in the day than they probably are now, because things are more like exposed. But back
right.
in the day, like Spike Lee and before, shit, girls was getting daggone hemmed up. Even my sister talks her. My sister had a best friend that was jacked up, jacked up. I didn't know about it because I was like, "What happened to your best friend, your roommate? What is going on? Have you heard from her?" Oh, she ain't been right since such and such happened. What happened? I was much younger than her, so I didn't really know like the goings on. But I knew about her friend. I had met her friend, but I didn't know that kind of stuff was going on while she was in college. Dang.
So um, so after high school, so we had they weren't Greek organizations in high school. They were kind of like sports letter, and other social clubs getting you ready for college. And so uh, I hated school, hated it. So while everybody was going to college, me and some of my friends, we decided to go to the military just to travel. So we thought at the time. So by the time I left basic training, I came home for a couple of weeks before I went over to England. So my homeboys who I went to school with, they were home for spring break and they were pledging these fraternities. So they were like, yo, man, come on through, man. We having a party at the house. I'm like, cool. Get over there. House is filled. Women everywhere. And so I'm just, I don't know any of them. So I'm just there sitting, just chilling. And I'm noticing that the bathroom door is a revolving door. 3, 4 guys go in, girl come out, a new girl come in, 3 or 4 guys go in. I mean, for about 2 hours, this was going on constantly. So I asked my homeboy, he was throwing the party. I'm like, dude, what's happening? He said, take a look. Man, they were. I had never done the train thing before. I was like, what? 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 They were all trying to be Greeks. That's what they was doing. And then learned a little bit more about it. And I'm sure if everybody heard of some of them dying, something stupid happening and they dying. I didn't know those were sacrifices. See, we don't bring that up. We don't bring up the families that have been destroyed by that stuff because you want to be Greek, but your great great grandmom is Chitamacha from Mississippi, Louisiana. But you running away from that, trying to be a Greek. And I said this once and I said this a million times. What goes around comes around. Everything you do comes back to you, don't it? So you can lie and get all the money and move away from people that know you and blah, blah, blah. But when you turn your back on your bloodline, when you turn your back on your ancestors, when you turn back around, they're not going to even recognize you. And I'm sure you've heard that before. So don't pass this on to the children because believe me, you will be back. Where are parents and grandparents' replacement now? We're going just going back to the back of the line to step on up. When you step on up, it's going to be way worse than it is now if you don't do something about it right now. Would you agree, Lisa?
Yes, and I think it all begins with us not being so friggin' sensitive and not and our whole refusal to be criticized ourselves. Like, yeah, you do stupid things. Yeah, crazy things happen. Yeah, there's things for all of us to learn, right? and we
Exactly.
and we can learn from anybody, whether it's a person that is considered to be slow, whether it's a child, whether it's a daggone dog, whether it's a daggone rock. We can learn, whether it's a damn ant. We can learn from everything. Okay, when why are we acting like we are above? we this is the thing. This is what this media stuff has done. We have AI, like you went. I'm gonna finish where you started. We have AI, which people are acting like, I don't need to ask you nothing. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because these daggone African Americans got AI, I don't need to. I don't ask you nothing. I want no answer. Look, I got it right here. You know. So what we have now are as a generation and a people that is just like, I don't need. You can't tell me nothing I need to know. It's the same thing about having to be in a neighborhood and buying your oranges from the guy next door because he got the oranges in his yard, or the guy who farms potatoes, and you don't need them no more because you got a supermarket, right? You don't need to depend on each other, right? Well,
Yep.
now we don't even got to ask each other a question, right? So now, how is that helping us? No, that is further isolating you. Not only is it isolating us from each other, but it's also polarizing because now you feeling like defensive if somebody tries to tell you something. Not only are you like isolated in that you feel like you're an island that doesn't need to ask nobody, but you are defensive and resistant if anybody offers any kind of information. What you know? He don't know nothing. What he talk about? She gonna tell me I know who I would listen to this woman on YouTube. I know who I listen. I listen to this. I do this. You ain't gonna tell me that kind of energy. That's where we're at now.
Arrogance.
Ego and arrogance and resistance. All these things that are a spirit that is toxic, right? We should be the way we should be now, like y'all, for to be ready for what the planet is and the ancestors want for us. We should be vibing so freaking positive. We should be Our spirits should be open. We should be full of discernment and love, and we should be like, yeah, I know the truth. I'm down with the truth. I have love. I, I, I was on TikTok the other day and they were crucifying this bro. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Do we have to have this thing where we feel like we got to go for each other's throat? What is this? Right? Why are we being like this? This guy said he honestly is coming for answers and you are trying to cut his head off. How is that fair? Why are we like this is not our spirit. I don't know what y'all are doing, but that's not the spirit we need to have. So for us to elevate to the point that we can do our magnificent things that we are capable of doing, we have to get our spirits right. We got to get our hearts right and our minds right. We got to put the blockers on where the blockers need to be. We need to be blocking this MK Ultra bullshit and all this stuff that they're putting out here to distract you and, and bring you away from what you should be focusing on. Focusing on is real. We need to grow. We need to be our best selves. We need to get in tune with nature and in tune with our nature, our true nature, and what our ancestors were and how they were, because they worked in unison, and respect was mandatory. You can't do it if you don't respect nobody. You can't come together if you have no respect for each other. We got to start with that. You can't come together if you're never willing to put your daggone ego to the back seat. You cannot come together if you're never willing to take to let somebody else control the situation. If you're not willing to trust nobody else to handle things, you can't get nothing done. I was in jail. I had to trust people that I didn't even know. I had to trust Acamax that I really hadn't really dealt with extensively to do things for me, because everybody that was close to me was falling apart, acting like they was in jail. I mean, not to be funny, but I mean, they were devastated. It was a devastating way that it all happened to me, and it's still quite devastating. But not to be, not for nothing, it was a devastating thing that did happen to them, and I do recognize that. Not, it's not a funny thing. It was shocking, and it was just, it was horrific, really. So they were shell shocked. They were going through post traumatic and all that stuff. They were going to PTSD as along with me. But so anyway, so because of that, there were people that were virtually strangers that I had to depend on to get certain things done. You can't get that if you don't trust nobody. You can't allow that to happen if you don't not willing. I mean, I wasn't given a. I mean, I guess I could have said I don't trust nobody and not done nothing, but you got to trust your people. You got to trust. We got to trust each other. You know. That's
Yeah.
it for me.
uh, and please remember this. It's not, don't be just going by, well, we all black. You got other qualities about you too that a lot of people just don't have, because you have all these groups. And I have a list around here, about 10 of them, 10 major groups: boule, athletes, entertainers. They're not on your side. Most of them are there to confuse you. Listen to some of the ex athletes speak. Listen to a brother named Larry Johnson. He was a good football player about 10 years ago. Bad. MVP type cat. You never heard of him again. Check out what he says about that stuff, about these sports. And you know about the musicians already. They're just there for you to worship. All of them. Because I trip off of how many sisters love Michael Jackson. He wouldn't give you the time of day. Explain. Uh, mhm. When you believe in things you don't understand, you suffer. And these are simple things. If the boy don't like you, don't you let him have his way. Let him go his way. If the girl don't like you, let her go have who she want. We mad and want to fight and call her a bitch if she don't want to talk. Are you crazy? That's what we are now. Because I talk to them, because I run into a lot of the high school kids every day, and they like, what? I, hello, how you doing? Don't get stuck on that color thing, especially with us, because a lot of us are like past demonic, serious. I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm serious. Men and women, because we worship others and we want to be them, don't we? Don't lie and say we don't when you know we do. Don't lie. That's one of the main problems. If we don't know nothing, we'll lie and try to pretend like we do. Don't hand that off to these children. You will be sorry. You've seen the stories of the young people that beat up on their mama. Why is that? What did the mama do to make them beat up on her? What goes around comes around, y'all. You inhale, you exhale, and you start to cycle all over again. Recognize these cycles that you're in. You know that they're not selling you food. I remember time ago, probably about 50 years ago, where the men east of the Mississippi River, they would send fish out to California, and you had all Axe family who's in California, all the fish markets you used to have out there. You know where they were getting their fish from? And the Pacific Ocean was right there. They was getting their fish from their relative that lived down south. Guess what happened? Guess what you did? Guess what you did? It's so funny. The Korean said, "Hey, monkey, I'll buy you out. And since you can get a new Cadillac, since you can be better than your neighbor, you sold out." How many fish markets are in California now owned by indigenous people? Ask yourself these questions. And how did you let these people come over and take your industry from you? Just like the cotton industry, just like the tobacco industry, you were fighting your people. You was fighting for other corporations to take that from your people. When you say we, when you talk about we, say it all. Just don't try to make it seem like it's all cozy. What was the Buffalo Soldiers doing while your people was so caught in slavery? While Jim Crow was going on and all that was happening, and you was getting flooded out in these towns, where were the Tuskegee Airmen? You never ask yourself these questions. So if you don't ask yourself these questions and you don't know, how your children gonna find out? Hmm? See, that's one of the worst things about us. We never know nothing. Never. And then, like Lisa said earlier, we get mad when somebody tells you the truth. They might get mad at me when I tell you about the Buffalo Soldiers. Well, you telling me they thank you for your service. They help get your ass out of the way. Thank you, Steele. And this is
Facts.
where the majority of us are. Sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
I just said facts.
I mean, come on, y'all. This shit is right in your face. And since we want to lie and bullshit on everything, the children never find out. So, Lisa, you can go ahead and close it out, baby.
So, I just we just wanted to get together because we're seeing Caucasians being killed by ICE, and it defies logic. It defies all things that have preceded it. There is no precedent. It defies common sense. And we got to ask ourselves, is this real? We got all these children upset about Black Lives Matter, and that turned out to be a big old hoax, a fraud. We got now we getting children all worked up over Trump and ICE. And we're gonna find out that this whole thing is a big old hoax and fraud too. In the government buildings, if you go in a courthouse or probably some hospitals as well, the image of Trump that they have up is an AI generated image. It's not even a real. It's not even a real photo, or it's an AI image. It's not a painting. It's an AI generated image. If that can tell you anything about what's going on today, um, we got to stop believing these things that are coming from the minds of men made to manipulate. We got to stop allowing this MK Ultra to dictate how we feel, and what it triggers is not thought. We are being triggered in our feelings, which is really a loose cannon, because emotion is not objective. And to survive the afflictions being hurled at us spiritually, we must be objective and have discernment. We will not withstand this if we allow our emotions to be manipulated by by the invaders. We can't allow it, because it's time for them to leave. And by them making the issue one other thing after another, we're not going to get our stuff together. And we will not be prepared to receive the gifts that are waiting for us. You must be prepared. You must be prepared to win. You're not going to win without preparation. You have to have an offensive plan. And the best offense is also a good defense. You have to be able to defend yourself against these spiritual daggone weapons they're using against you. MK Ultra is a major weapon. Recognize it for what it is and share the message of discernment, objectivity, and critical thinking. Ana, everyone.